Well, there you go. Then it finishes at St James's Park. Newcastle United 2, Manchester City 3. Welcome to the match reaction here on the Toon Review with myself, Paul. Thank you very much for tuning into the video. As usual, please do stick a like on the video if you do enjoy it. And if you're new, please do subscribe. Come and be part of an incredible community here on the Toon Review. But don't forget to hit that notification bell, which lets you know when we schedule our live shows or we upload any videos such as this. Into the game itself, and you know what? Eddie Howe was pretty much restricted with what 11 he could put out there today. Whether you agree with the 4-3-3 or not, or whether you think he should do something different, I think his hands were very much tied as to what he could do, especially with Livramento going down with illness late yesterday. The first 11 was basically all he could put out was what the expected ones to be with the players he had available. The first 20 minutes, it looked like Man City were going to overrun us. They were finding gaps between the midfield and the back four all the time. Foden and Silva finding pockets of space to break onto us. But they couldn't get any decent shots onto Dubravka. You know, it was breaking down very quickly and we were winning the ball back. But you felt that maybe a goal was coming for City, and it did come with obviously Bernardo Silva's brilliant little flick into the far corner. But I'm not sure what Dan Burn was doing for that goal. He seemed to get dragged into the middle for no apparent reason. You know, Cher and Botman are there marking their men. There's no spare man there, but Burn gets dragged across and leaves Kyle Walker in acres of space. He obviously has time to pick a pass out, and it's 1-0. But what I really, really did like about our performance in that first half was we didn't put our heads down. You know, we still went toe-to-toe with them. And then Fabian Cher makes two brilliant tackles in his own half, plays the ball to Bruno, who plays a worldie of a pass over the top. Alexander Isak runs onto it. I thought he'd actually took a bit too much of a heavier touch. It worked out quite good because he got it onto his right foot and bent a beauty into the far corner. And it's 1-1. And again, we didn't sit back. You know, a light bulb went off and thought, right, you know, let's go at them again. Gordon gets the ball on the left literally 2 minutes later, cuts in, fires a worldie of a shot into the bottom corner past Ortega. And we go in 2-1 up when the first 20 minutes would have suggested, wow, we're going to get a hammer in here. But we didn't. We grew into the game and we really fought tooth and nail. And you're probably thinking at half-time, that's what we want to see again. You know, play the counter-attacking football by all means, but don't sit back and park the bus. However, it didn't go like that. City got the ball immediately from the kickoff, and you know, I think we had one good opportunity in that second half where Dan Burn crossed it in to the box for Isak. We just couldn't get a decent finish on it. But there was a lot of positives about today, though, and I think that's what a lot of fans should take out of the game. Yes, the Premier League record right now, if you look at it, it's awful. It's horrible. It really is. And, you know, Eddie Howe, the players, the staff, everybody, the fans will be worried about that. They've been in the position that we are. We're down in 10th now. We've had a rotten run in the Premier League. A lot of that is down to the injuries and the fatigue that we went through during that time period. Today, I'm not suggesting fatigue for 1 minute, but we did tire. You know, any team does tire towards the end of a football match, and we did that. You know, a lot of players were looking tired. And yes, I know some of the fans will say, well, Eddie should have changed such and such or done this or done that. But I genuinely think his hands were tied today, guys. I really do. Gordon was spent, so he brings on Lewis Hall. But you look at the bench and you think, well, what could he do? Maybe go to a back back five in the last 10 minutes of the game. You know, stick to what we've got. You know, we've got a point against Manchester City. A point is better than nothing against the champions and against a team of Manchester City's calibre. So maybe we could have done that. But that's not to say that Eddie Howe goes 5 at the back for the last 10 minutes and that last goal doesn't happen. You know, you can't dictate the future. You can't see it. The future, you don't know what's going to happen. You know, for whatever reason, Eddie's decided to stay with what he's got on the pitch, who, let's be honest, weren't doing a bad job defensively. You know, that back four tonight did really well. You know, Trippier looked back to his best. Should have done better with Oscar Bob at the end. I'm pretty sure of that. I'm pretty sure he'd be disappointed. But Burn and Cher were Botman and Cher, especially the centre-backs, were absolutely superb tonight. Fabian Cher put his body on the line. Burn covered well. Botman was just his Rolls-Royce self. So, you know, I don't have any complaints about the defending. I think defended like warriors again, but we defended too much. And maybe we should have tried to counter Man City a little bit more in the second half. We should have gone for the throat a bit more, because I do believe that Manchester City's back four was susceptible to mistakes and were there to get at. And we proved that with 2 goals in the first half. And that's what's maybe a little disappointing, is that we didn't go for it enough in the second half, but we did tire out, and we didn't have the players available on the bench that could come on and change the way we played up top. We did try moving Isak to the left and Gordon through the middle again. But to be honest, I didn't really see the point of doing that, because we weren't getting the ball forward enough anyway. The ball wasn't coming to the front three. Miggy was doing a lot of defensive work because he was covering for Trippier a lot in the second half. Those two were defending really well. But yes, I'm pissed off we've lost the game in the last minute. Of course I am. But I'm not. I've got to look at the positives of this game and think, right, if we were against, a Luton Town or anyone else of their calibre, we probably would have won that game. But you look at who we had missing today in the midfield. Joe Linton, Willock, Barnes, Anderson. All those players, if we'd had available, we win the game tonight. Because we would have the legs on the bench, we would have the players in the right positions to come on, in the positions that we needed in order to win the game. But we didn't have that available tonight. You can change defenders, etc. But, the defence were doing a good enough job. It was the midfield and front three that were knackered. They did a lot of running in the game, and that is where the positions are that we needed to change. Now, you might have a different opinion to that. That's fine. Of course, everybody has different opinions. But I think just because we've lost, there's a lot of anger being sort of, certainly from what I saw in the chat in the Matchday Live show, being aimed at Eddie Howe. And I don't really think that's appropriate tonight. I don't think Eddie Howe could have done anything different. Maybe tell the lads something different in the dressing room at half time. Keep the counter-attack going, because they are susceptible to mistakes at the back as well. But that's all. I don't think Eddie intentionally went out or told the lads to go out and sit back in the second half all the time. But City were relentless. These are the World Club champions, guys, the treble winners. Whatever they are big winners. And they showed tonight why they're winners, because they don't stop. They are relentless. And one day, hopefully, we will be at that level where we are as relentless as that, and we just batter teams. Because they battered us second half, and whatever you think, did deserve to win the game. But we have to try and look for the positives in this time and say, right, we scored 2 really good goals. There were some much better performances out there. Yes, there's still a couple of players who we'll discuss in the match review tomorrow that maybe aren't going to be up to standard, but we kind of already knew that before going into the match tonight. We knew that there was a couple of players on that pitch that have probably, gone as high as they can and took us as Newcastle United as far as they can before they are moved on and better players come in. It's obvious in that fact. But look, I'm disappointed, very disappointed we've lost, but there is some positives to take, and I think that's what we need to aim on. Not aim it all at Eddie Howe, because what's he supposed to do when we've got nobody on the bench? Absolutely nobody, man. We're down to the very bare bones. And we can't bring players in to replace these injured players. We're having to wait till they come back. Players are going down with illnesses. It's just a nightmare. It's a shitstorm for Eddie Howe. But let me know in the comments below. Are you blaming Eddie Howe? If you are, what do you think he could have done differently to get something out of that game? Because, it's all right saying, Eddie's to blame, but why? Why do you think Eddie's to blame? I don't personally think that. I think he did as much as he could tonight to try and get something out of the game. But we'll look at that in the review tomorrow night. That is at 7 o'clock, guys. Let me know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. If you have enjoyed it, don't forget to give it the thumbs up. And of course, if you're new to the channel, come and be part of the community by hitting the subscribe button. Free to do so. And hit that notification bell as well, which will let you know when we upload videos such as this, or we schedule in our live shows. As I say, we'll be back Sunday night, 7 p.m. with the match review. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching, guys, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Take care.